Welcome back. And now it's time for our press review. We are going to take a look at the main headlines of our Egyptian dailies. Today we have the pleasure to have with us our dear guest, Dr. Yomman, Hammaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University. Doctor, good morning.
Good morning, Nash.
Right, let me start by taking a look at the banner of الأهم newspaper. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Wednesday participated in the inaugural session of the 4th African Arab Summit held in Equatorial Guinea's capital of Malabo. The summit has been held under the theme of Together for Sustainable Development and Economic Cooperation in the presence of many African and Arab leaders. We have more details in the following report. President Abdel Fattah back home late on Wednesday after participating in the Arab and African Summit in the capital of Equatorial Guinea. Malabo held under the title Together for Sustainable Development and Economic Cooperation. President al-Sisi took part in the summit, which focused on prospects of the Arab-African cooperation and coordinating stances on regional and international issues of mutual concern. Addressing the summit, President al-Sisi said that achieving sustainable development and welfare for the people are considered joint goals. El-Sisi also tackled the current challenges, including illegal immigration and terrorism, stressing that such challenges require all regional and international efforts. Meanwhile, Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait said that Arab and African countries face the common threat of terrorism. For her part, head of the African Union Commission said that the African Union is working with Arab countries to maintain security and stability. On the sidelines of the Arab-African Summit, President al-Sisi held a series of meetings with the Emir of Kuwait, the President of Equatorial Guinea, the President of Guinea, and Burundi's Vice President. Welcome back. And we were just discussing this, Doctor, that really it is a very, very important meeting, talking about, in general, Equatorial Guinea and the African countries again. And we have to focus on our relation, talking about economic relation, talking about the resources, because the African continent is again rich with its resources.
Of course. And what is more important, Nashwa, is that these resources, to a large extent, are not exploited efficiently. From here it comes the importance of cooperation, which is the title of this summit. The cooperation between Arab countries and African countries in order to unleash these, opportunities, economic opportunities in this, in the continent. I believe a lot of studies have been done regarding these potentialities. The capability to, enhance relations needs more efforts and more institutional, background and set up in order to benefit from these resources. I believe that for Arab countries suffering from scarcity of water, nowadays there is potentialities for agriculture there. Africa is very well rich of water. From here it comes that investments in the agriculture sector is becoming quite important in the way of cooperation, taking into account that, with the climate change and, in order to achieve more green products, I believe that here we have experts like in Egypt. We have potentiality of investment from Arab Investment Fund that are searching and looking for opportunities of good investment. And we have, the potentialities of these African countries. I believe a lot and potentials of in these countries to make this cooperation on sustainable development and for the benefit of people there, because Africa still suffering from poverty, all indices regarding the quality of life, the people that are living, they are suffering from lack of education and health services. From here it comes that when you are enhancing potentialities of economic activities there. Here it comes, it's going to be reflected on the will of people living there, and here it comes that you are talking now about market too. It's not just by, when you exploit resources, when you include people that, which is, you know, inclusion, in participating to have more, you know, rewards from their lands and from their resources. Here they are going to get more money, their income going to be increased, and from here it comes that they are going to represent a market. This market is very important potential for trade relations between Arab countries and Africans. So I believe here this is the responsibility of Arab League in cooperation with African Union, as President Sisi mentioned here, to set up or to pave the way nationally. We have a lot of studies, but they are not implemented in reality. So here where is the business sector? How to encourage business sector into going there. Even for sustainable development, the private sector is playing significant role in it. So how to encourage private sector, civil society to, you know, prepare people and encourage them to participate in development. A lot should be done actually to benefit, to have mutual benefit between two sides in order for the benefit of the people at the end.
Right. Moving on to الشروق newspaper. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi met Wednesday with Emir of Kuwait, Sheikh Sabah Ahmed El-Jaber al-Sabah, on the sidelines of the 4th edition of the Arab-African Summit currently held in Equatorial Guinea's capital, Malabo. The president also met with presidents of Equatorial Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, as well as vice president of Burundi. Also talking about the importance of the meetings taking place or taking
good opportunity to meet, yes, and you know, and discuss.
As you were talking,
a lot
Arab
of
countries
challenges,
and the African countries.
yes, and a lot of challenges actually are facing Arab countries nowadays. You see the, you know, from political sides, conflict actually of conflict in points of view towards, you know, a lot of cases in the Arab world, like for the Syrian problem, for Yemen problem, I believe, for Libyan, I believe that we need more, you know, harmonization in our, to harmonize our point of view as Arab countries to address these challenges, because, you know, as I see, there is still conflict, you know, we are not gathering on...
We're not acting as one man still.
Yes.
Right, moving on to أخبار اليوم newspaper. Egypt has topped a list of Middle East countries that are safe for tourism and vacations, and this is according to the US government. Other ME countries deemed safe include Jordan, Oman, United Arab Emirates, and Qatar. In a supplement issued by the independent Indy 100, the US government has advised citizens to review the information on the levels of safety for countries around the world available through US embassies and consulates. I think this is
very good news, yes, you know, it's, but we have to work on it actually, you know.
To take benefit of this.
We have to work hardly on it because, you know, there is very good opportunity to attract American tourism into Egypt, taking into consideration how to, you know, harmonize effort with companies working in marketing for tourism in United States, because, you know, you have to talk to people with their language actually. So this is quite important, and I believe Egypt is full of opportunity to attract tourism, you know, a lot of, you know, it's not just by monument. We have, nowadays, you know, in Europe,
yes,
there is snow, and we have here very warm weather, so, you know, we have really good opportunity.
Even when it is cold,
yes,
it is not that cold like abroad. Right, moving on to Sada al-Balad. A conscript was injured on Wednesday after a bomb blasted south of Sheikh Zouaid. Sources said the blast exploded roadside as the forces were raiding the hotbeds of Ansar Beit al-Maqdis terrorist group. The injured conscript was taken to Arish Hospital for treatment till the end. And again, we all know what is happening.
Yes, you know, this is under control. And, you know, we are working on this actually. I believe that it's better, despite what's happening in this very small area of Sinai. You know, we have to remember quite well that by development of this area, which started actually, you know, there is now tendency from you know, leaders and government in Egypt in order to improve the quality of life for the people, that enhance economic activity. So hopefully that this could help a lot in order to achieve security and stabilization in this area.
Right, and moving on to another headline. This time, let me move on to أخبار اليوم. Armed Forces Chief of Staff Mahmoud Hijazi met with U.S. Central Command's Commander of our Ground Forces, Michel Garrett, as well as his accompanying delegation over bilateral cooperation. The two sides have discussed issues of mutual concern in the light of the latest developments in the region. They also coordinated on aspects of military cooperation between both sides. The military cooperation is due to include training, transferring, and sharing information to cope with various challenges, especially terrorist threats. And this will go also with what President Sisi always talk about, that you cannot work alone, not only Arab and African, but you need the international, on the international level.
We have, you know, the danger of terrorism is addressing all the world, all countries of the world. And I believe that coordination is quite important, and exchanging, you know, experiences becoming essential nowadays in order to combat terrorism. So I believe this is very important.
Right, moving on to Al-Ahram newspaper. The Egyptian pound remained stable against the US dollar Wednesday, with sell prices ranging between 17 Egyptian pounds and 17.45, and buying prices ranging from 17.5 to 17.95 Egyptian pounds. Data by the Central Bank of Egypt showed that the average selling price of the US currency on Tuesday was 17.29 Egyptian pounds, while average buying stood at 17.82 Egyptian pounds. Doctor, how do you read this, and how do you see the
this
upcoming...
This is natural because we are in a period of, you know, destabilization for our exchange rate, which means that...
And this is normal.
This is fluctuation, yes. You know, we haven't reached yet the point of stabilization. Now we are trying to liberalize our currency. Still, my concern is about what we are doing in order to make these periods shorter as possible, from one perspective, from another, to address the repercussions of it. You know, I see that we are not doing well in this dimension, taking into consideration that I am expecting from the government, since we are addressing stabilization, we have to harmonize our effort in order to enhance capabilities of exportation. What we are doing on that, this is a question mark. There are efforts done, but they are not harmonized enough to guarantee that the potentialities of Egypt regarding exportation is used efficiently. You know, we have a lot of potentialities. There are now factories that have been closed because of problems that can be solved in very short period, and they can, you know, export and help Egypt in this period. So what I am expecting more efforts, more harmonized effort from the government in order to arrange for, you know, mobilizing all capabilities for exportation, as well as a lot of product can be produced at home instead of being importing. So you have to enhance more the climate of investment. And there is good news regarding, you know, the decisions of the Higher Council of Investment presided by President. I believe these decisions are quite important, but we haven't seen yet the, you know, action plan to mobilize these decisions for the benefit of you know, enhancing investment in two sides, on export promotion and import substitution, so that, you know, you can support your decision. What we are talking about tourism, It needs a lot of effort in order to benefit from the potentialities of tourism. And nowadays we have several countries that, relax these restrictions against coming to Egypt. So a lot should be done. What I'm talking about, harmonized, efficient efforts from government. Besides the repercussions, every day you can see a lot of problems, medicine problems.
This is exactly what I wanted to raise. And talking about, can you tell us more about, can we have a technique, for example, to control this? Because they all say that you have to give it, for example, about 3 months, and then the price itself or the exchange rate will be stabilized. But the point is, again, taking, for example, Minister of Finance, Amr al-Garhi, said that the currency flotation and cutting fuel subsidies caused a relative economic slowdown, adding that he expects this year something around 4%. Okay, but again, how can we control the situation? Can we leave it for 3 months or 4 months?
This is a problem. This is a problem. When you manage this problem, it needs from you to refer to data and to institutions to, work efficiently enough to address these problems. What's the meaning by referring to data? It means that for all countries of the world, they have what is called production index for all product. We don't have this. So when you see a producer of merchants, they are increasing prices by more than, the increase in the, the price related to relaxation of the exchange rates. The range is quite large. People are, misusing this situation in order to manipulate and to exercise monopoly for having more gains from this situation. So how to address this? By having enough data about each product, what is the production index, what should be, the margin of profit for each of this product, handle the situation, and to figure out if for these products there is monopoly. Since your institution regarding your organization about combating monopoly, it's not working quite well. The legislation is not giving them opportunity to handle the situation properly enough. So the issue is that a lot of work needs to be done regarding how to address the situation, how to control the market. The market mechanism in Egypt is not working well.
Including the services, not only products.
Yes, and from here it comes that you need more efforts. The media is playing good role nowadays in order to reflect the needs of people and to address challenges regarding that. But still, you have to strengthen your organization and institutions in order to combat monopoly, in order to protect consumers in the right way, in order to have more channels in the market, to expand the market and expand supply so that to protect people from this monopoly.
All right. At the end, Dr. Yomman Hammaki, Professor of Economics at Shams University. Always a pleasure having you with us on the show. And still we have more to bring you, but first let's move on to a quick break and we'll be back to resume our breakfast show.